Hey guys, welcome to SimplySeyfo Cinema. This is a spoiler review. If you want to watch a non-spoiler review, click on the thing at the top right where it says non-spoiler review. Anyways, let's get into it. Yes, okay, yes. Before you even start to wonder about if you need to have watched any previous MCU projects to understand what is going on in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, yes. But it's okay, because if you have seen the second Deadpool, the Loki show, Elektra or Daredevil with Ben Affleck, and the Blade movies, then you should be fine. I don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but there is a theme. This Deadpool movie is like one big, just shy off perfect send-off for the 20th Century Fox Marvel movies. They even break the fourth wall in the void by having a giant 20th Century Fox buried in the sand looking like an emu trying to play hide and seek with the Sidemen. But alas, let us review the most advertised movie since the Barbie movie. Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine, a highly anticipated superhero movie in a time where everyone is suffering from superhero fatigue. The MCU has been dumping out shitty products like a 60-year-old man with IBS and diarrhea simultaneously, just non-stop shitting out everywhere and on everything. After a long list of M-shit-you films and Disney's woke agenda push, Deadpool and Wolverine is like a box of Tic Tacs. Refreshing.
Maybe we should call ourselves the Febreze Brothers, because it's feeling so fresh right now.
So the movie begins with a beautiful dance sequence performed by Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool to the beautiful song Bye 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 by NSYNC. And this is for the opening credits scene. And while he does all this dancing while he's defeating a bunch of TVA agents and also simultaneously besmirching the memory of Logan from the Logan movies while destroying his remains pretty much, and for a lack of a better way to say that. But then we do a that's like a this is where I am right now. I'm Deadpool, and if you wanted to know how I ended up here, I gotta take you back a few steps, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those openings, and then
yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It takes us back to him after Deadpool 2, after he's done all the time traveling thing and he's re-altered the history of the Ryan Reynolds timeline, and he stopped him from Green Lantern and all of that kind of stuff. It then heads to him working out as a car salesman with Peter from the X-Force, which was cool. And then what happens is, and then the TVA come, they knock on the door, and they send him to the TVA, basically. They take him to the TVA. And that's where he is met by a guy named Paradox, who is currently running the person in charge of this sector of the TVA. And then anyway, so the TVA tells Deadpool, well, Paradox tells Deadpool that he's been chosen for a higher purpose. He gets told that his timeline is going to be wiped out forever because the anchor of his timeline has died. And an anchor being in a timeline, according to the movie, is someone who, if they die, then the whole timeline ceases to exist. Basically, the whole timeline eventually gets wiped out because that anchor being is what's keeping that timeline existing, I guess, from non-existence. Yeah, you get what I mean. Anyways, yeah, so then after fuck was the anchor being, you know? And then they were like, well, it's no one other than Logan from the Logan movie. Yes, of course, the one that he was besmirching in the start of the film while dancing to NSYNC. And then so Deadpool, being Deadpool, tries to save his universe by stealing the TVA's time travel thing and going to different multiverses, I guess. And then by going to these different multiverses, he's trying to find a new Wolverine to replace the one that died in his world, you know. And then this leads to a very cool montage of different Wolverines with cool cameos from Henry Cavill and the Hulk. I do wish these scenes went for a little longer and wasn't just a quick 5-minute montage scene, but anyways, after bringing Wolverine back to the TVA to take back to his universe, in this sector, the Paradox guy, who's played by Matthew McFadden, who is a great actor, and you may recognize him from the show Succession, which is also a great show. Recommend watching that. So this Paradox guy doesn't like what Deadpool did, so he prunes both Deadpool and Wolverine and sends them to the Void. And if you don't know what the Void is, Well, you're going to have to watch Loki Season 2 because it explains what the Void is in that. Once they get to the Void, we get a great fight scene between Deadpool and Wolverine, and finally get to see Wolverine fight like Wolverine and use his super strength, his super agility, and the fight style accurately. Then we get a Chris Evans cameo, and as Captain America, nah, just joking, caught you off guard, cause it's Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, aka 20th Century Fox Chris Evans, which was still great, but then we get a bunch of like 20th Century Fox villains come, and then they capture the trio and head to Cassandra Nova, our antagonist of the film, who also happens to be Charles Xavier's twin sister, Professor X's twin. After some exposition and a deadly flesh wound to Johnny, our heroes escape on an old sentinel foot and fly further into the void. After meeting the ugliest dog in the world, aka Dogpool, and his papa, Nicepool, they end up having a little bit of more exposition about the void and the Deadpools that come through and how Wolverines are very rare in the void. And then he tells them about how there's some other people who are fighting against Cassandra Nova, and Deadpool and Wolverine will be like, oh, yep, well, we need to go find those guys. How do we get there? And then Nicepool is like, oh, well, you can take my car.
No, just get in the car. This isn't a car. This is a Honda fucking Odyssey.
And then what car is it? A Honda Odyssey. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but Deadpool hates Honda Odysseys. He needs to sell cars, and they ask him what's the difference between the Kia something and the Honda Odyssey, and he tells them, well, the Honda Odyssey just sucks. It's absolutely terrible. But then, anyway, so they get the car, and then
In the fucking car. She'll get you there safe and sound.
they go for a drive or whatever, and then what happens is Deadpool and Wolverine fuck hard in the Odyssey, and they even pass out from how hard they fucked from exhaustion. Anyway.
The Honda Odyssey fucks hard. Too bad you don't needle dick. Oh, we're just getting started, Bubba.
Anyways, they wake up in a den where we are met with some of the greatest cameos ever. Our first to enter is, drumroll please, Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner. Our second, and my favorite by far, was Blade, played by Wesley Snipes. And the most shocking cameo of all, by Channing Tatum as Gambit. And of course, X-23 Laura. Daphne Keene's X-23 Laura. So anyways, they team up and head back to Cassandra Nova to make her send them back to the real world, where Paradox is afraid of Wolverine and Deadpool stopping his plans. And he asks Pyro, from the X-Men movies, to kill Cassandra, and this
is so silly.
Leads to a momentary plot device to help the heroes back to the world, only to have Cassandra come to the real world and try to destroy it herself. And, well, destroy everything except the void. Here we get a massive fight scene between, I think, 100 Deadpools and Deadpool Prime and Wolverine. And then it leads to a great bonding moment to defeat Cassandra. Now, but we also get a great body shot of Hugh Jackman, and no homo, guys, but this man is like 60 years old and he has got a six-pack. It's crazy. Anyways, and we see that Deadpool's efforts to save his timeline was successful, and the MCU lived happily ever after over the dead body of 20th Century Fox. Also, the cameos used were all the 20th Century Fox Marvel characters. And the one joke I'm gutted that they didn't mention or do is that Ryan Reynolds was in Blade Trinity and worked with Wesley Snipes as Blade in the Blade movie. And he didn't break that fourth wall, which was a bit sad because that would have been pretty funny. But nonetheless, it was a pretty good film overall, very enjoyable. Also, another thing... So in the first Blade movie, Blade says to one of the vampires, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill."
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And then in this movie, he says that, he goes, "Some motherfuckers still trying to ice skate uphill," which
Some still trying to ice skate uphill.
was pretty cool. And also, when they ask him if he was ready, he says, "I was born ready." It doesn't say motherfucker, which was unfortunate, but in the Blade Trinity movie, he goes, "I was born ready, motherfucker." And
Ready to die.
I was born ready, motherfucker.
anyways, yeah, that was just also pretty cool. But anyways, now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. The moment that you have all come here to hear. the SimplySeyfo cinema score. So, without further ado, let's get into that. The acting, 4 out of 5. It was excellent acting. It was amazing acting. It was, I'm not gonna lie, Hugh Jackman did an amazing job, but I still do think he did a better job in Logan. But still, amazing acting. Ryan Reynolds is as you expect anyway. But, yeah, and Matthew McFadden also does a really good job. But yeah, and also everybody else everyone does a good job. Everyone does what they need to do, basically. Story plot, it was running a little thin, but we could have been better. We're going to give it a 3 out of 5. Still very entertaining. The score, the soundtrack, the music, 4 out of 5. They chose great songs to use. It was really entertaining. I never felt like the music was out of place to what was happening on screen, which is always the best way to utilize the soundtrack. CGI, after reviewing back some of my thoughts, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because there were certain times on my second run I was able to notice certain things that where they use digidoubles and certain things where I noticed the CGI more visibly than the first time I watched, but I shouldn't have even noticed it the second time, but you could still notice it. But maybe not everyone could notice it. Maybe it's just the trained eye can notice it. But anyways, 4 out 4. I was going to give it a 4 out of 5 for CGI, but we'll go 3 out of 5 for CGI. Entertainment value is definitely, I was going to give this a 4 out of 5. In my non-spoiler review, I gave it a 4 out of 5, but I think I'm going to increase the entertainment value to 5 out of 5 because there wasn't a moment during that film where I felt like I was not immersed. I was immersed throughout that entire film pretty much, which was always a good thing, you know what I mean? And then, for the woke agenda, the wokeism, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5 because there was barely no wokeism in this movie, and I find that very surprising, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do the scoring for it, for like, if it has 1 out of 5 wokeism, I'm going to do -1 from 30. If it has 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 wokeism, then it becomes 25 is the highest, like 25 out of 30, if that makes sense. But anyway, since my review is running a little bit late, I've also got some extra information about the extended cut or the director's cut, or whichever one they choose to call it, which is going to come out probably around Christmas time at the end of this year. And on that, apparently the multivariants of Wolverines, like the Hulk Wolverine scene, apparently that's like a 5-minute scene. Apparently Henry Cavill has like a 5-minute scene. Apparently She-Hulk was also in. I don't know if they're going to put that in the director's cut, but the first two that I mentioned definitely are going to be in the director's cut that comes out at the end of the year, probably on like Christmas or maybe but just before New Year's. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see for that, but yeah, and hit that subscribe button. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of content. I enjoy doing this cause movies are a passion of mine. I could give you guys more in-depth analysis, but I feel there is a lot of people who do that already, so this is more just a walkthrough on the film. Anyways, I've been SimplySeyfo, and I'm just trying to make the world a better place through the art of entertainment. And if you guys want to help me make the world a better place, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's fucking go!